You know what's strange? Some of the most intelligent, emotionally aware people you'll ever meet are also some of the most exhausted. Not from doing too much, but from thinking too much. They replay conversations that ended hours ago. They map out scenarios that may never happen. They lie awake at 2 a.m., not because something went wrong, but because their brain refuses to stop asking, what if? And here's the psychological paradox at the heart of this. The very cognitive habit that makes someone thoughtful, careful, and empathetic is the same habit that quietly drains them. Today, we're going to explore the psychology of people who think too much. What's actually happening in their brain, why it develops, and what it really means about who they are.
6. Their brain doesn't know how to switch off. For some people, thinking isn't something they choose. It's something that never stops. Even in silence, their mind is active, replaying conversations, analyzing decisions, imagining future scenarios, questioning things that haven't even happened yet. This is because their brain struggles with something called cognitive off-switching. Most people can naturally shift from active thinking to mental rest. But overthinkers stay mentally on, even when there's nothing urgent to solve. Their brain treats thoughts like unfinished tasks. So instead of letting them go, it keeps returning to them, again and again. That's why overthinking doesn't feel like control. It feels like being trapped in your own mind. 5. They try to predict everything before it happens. Overthinking often comes from a desire to feel prepared. If you can predict every possible outcome, every reaction, every mistake, then nothing can catch you off guard. At least, that's the idea. So the brain starts running simulations. What if I say this? What if they react like that? What if something goes wrong? This is called mental forecasting. And while it can be useful in small doses, overthinkers take it too far. They don't just consider one or two possibilities, they explore dozens, most of which will never happen. But the brain doesn't know that. It treats imagined scenarios like real ones, triggering stress, anxiety, and emotional reactions to situations that don't even exist yet. So instead of feeling prepared, they feel overwhelmed. 4. They struggle to trust their own decisions. For many overthinkers, the real problem isn't thinking too much, it's doubting too much. They make a decision, then immediately question it. Was that the right choice? Should I have said something else? Did I miss something? This constant self-doubt forces the brain to revisit decisions repeatedly, searching for certainty that doesn't exist. But here's the truth. No decision ever feels 100% certain. So the brain keeps analyzing, hoping to reach a level of clarity that's impossible. And because it never arrives, the thinking never stops. Confident thinkers move forward. Overthinkers stay stuck in review mode. 3. They replay the past on loop. Overthinkers don't just worry about the future, they relive the past. A conversation from hours ago, a mistake from weeks ago, an embarrassing moment from years ago. Their brain brings it back like it just happened. They analyze tone, wording, reactions. What did they mean by that? Why did I say that? I should have done this instead. This is called rumination, and it creates the illusion that revisiting the past will somehow change it. But it never does. It only strengthens the memory and the emotion attached to it. So the more they replay it, the more real it feels, and the harder it becomes to let go. 2. They mistake thinking for solving. Here's where things get tricky. Overthinkers often believe they're being productive. They feel like they're solving problems, but in reality, they're just circling them. Thinking and solving are not the same thing. Solving leads to action or resolution. Overthinking leads to more thinking. The brain keeps analyzing the same issue from slightly different angles without ever reaching a conclusion. It feels active, it feels important, but nothing actually changes. It's like running on a treadmill, a lot of effort, but no movement. And because it feels like progress, the brain keeps doing it. That's the trap. Number 1. Their mind is highly active, but poorly directed. At its core, overthinking is not a sign of low intelligence. It's often the opposite, a fast, active, highly capable mind without clear direction. The brain generates ideas, questions, scenarios, possibilities at a rapid pace. But instead of being focused and controlled, that mental energy becomes scattered. So instead of deep thinking, it turns into endless thinking. The same ability that could be used for creativity, problem solving, or insight becomes noise. And that's the real issue. Not that the mind is weak, but that it isn't guided. Because a powerful mind without direction doesn't create clarity, it creates chaos. Thinking deeply is a strength, but thinking endlessly is exhausting. The goal isn't to stop thinking, it's to learn when to stop. Because the smartest minds aren't the ones that think the most. They're the ones that know when to let go.